Okay. In honor of Super Bowl Sunday coming up, this episode of Story Time is going to be Monday Night Football in Canada. All right. Many years ago, we ended up having to go to Canada to a plant that was making the dashes for the Chrysler Intrepid. Now, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I'll look up, put in the comments below what year's Chrysler Intrepid was made. But we landed in Toronto, drove up to the factory, and the reason they were calling us there is they were having problems with air bubbles in the dash. Now, those of you that remember what a Chrysler Intrepid looked like, I'll make sure I add a picture for the people that don't remember the abomination of an Intrepid. But the Chrysler Intrepid had a windshield about this damn big with a dash equally as big, okay? So, when you have a windshield that big and a dash that big, when the car sits on the dealer's lot, it's brand spanking new. It acts as a greenhouse. So it's sitting on the lot day in, day out, all shut up. Well, what they were complaining about is, of course, the temperatures in the car were getting to thermonuclear level. And there was tiny little air bubbles in the dashes that were popping. It was moisture inside the plastic. And those little air bubbles were exploding under the extreme heat and leaving like little craters all over the dash. So you would roll up, and I can't imagine why somebody would have rolled up on the lot and bought an Intrepid new, but plenty of people did. You roll into the lot, you sit down in your brand new car, and the dash looks like moon craters all over the dash. So needless to say, Chrysler had to replace a whole bunch of dashes, brand new at the dealership, for free. And if you've ever had to replace a dash in a new car, I'm sure some mechanics quit their jobs at Chrysler just because of this. But anyway, we go to Canada. We're up there, and the automotive industry's trying to blame somebody. So they're blaming the people making the dash. And of course, the people making the dash didn't want to foot the bill for all this. So they're blaming us. So we come up there to see what it was. Well, we just happened to be there, me, Freddie, and Russell. We'll say we changed the names to protect the guilty. So me, Freddie, and Russell all fly to Canada. We get there and we're trying to go through their issues. Well, it just happened to be football was going on. It's that time of year that you could watch Monday Night Football. Well, in Canada, there is nothing else to do. You definitely don't want to be outside. So, we all decide to go to Freddie's room to watch Monday Night Football. Now, Freddie traveled a lot more than I did, so he had like a gazillion hotel points. And Freddie gets the upgraded room. When we get to the hotel, he gets the room that has the suite, the sofa, the coffee table in the middle, and the giant TV on the wall. So, of course, we agree, yes, we're going to Freddie's room to watch Monday Night Football. Well, we stop off and get us some beer and chips and snacks and stuff to sit and watch Monday Night Football. Well, we're there about halfway through the game, we're sitting there and the beer, important footnote, beer is on the coffee table in front of us. We're watching the game, and all of a sudden, Russell gets up in front of us, and I'm sitting on the far right of the couch. Freddie's on the far left. Russell's sitting in the middle. All of a sudden, Russell gets up, bends over to go get a beer. Leans up, comes back, and his shirt tail was just a little short. Now, his shirt did a little peekaboo and showed off that he had a T-stamp. Now, I saw it, and Freddie saw it. Now, this was back in the time of Clinton, don't ask, don't tell. So, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let it go. Never saw it. Didn't need to know. Didn't need to ask. Wasn't going to bother me. Well, Freddie, it was bothering me. Freddie couldn't not have answers to questions that he had for that. And in the 3 nanoseconds it took for Russell to reach the beer, lean back, sit back down on the couch, me and Freddie had an entire conversation with our eyes. My conversation was, I'm not asking. No, I'm not doing it. Freddie's conversation was, I've got to ask. I've got to know. My conversation was, no, don't do it. Freddie's conversation was, yes, I've got to do it. So we have this conversation, unbeknownst to Russell. And when we have this conversation, Freddie wins in his head. I don't win over on him not to ask. So Freddie's way of being subtle was Freddie said, hey, Russell, how do you feel about tattoos? Which was pretty much as subtle as a 10-pound sledgehammer. And Russell goes, oh, you saw that, did you? Yes. Yes, we saw that. And Freddie goes, because Freddie had to know. He goes, so did you lose a bet? Or did you get drunk and wake up with that tattoo? And Russell replies, oh no, I got that a long time ago before they were called T-stamps. Freddie pretty much replied, word for word, I think they've always been called T-stamps. To which pretty much the conversation went downhill from there. Now, fast forward, we make it back home. It wasn't our fault, the dashes, by the way. It had nothing to do with us. We make it back home. Russell decides to leave our employment. He had just started working with us like 6 weeks before. He found a job that paid him $10 more on the hour than we were. Wasn't real surprising. And Russell says, see y'all freaks later. So then fast forward. We're in a training seminar, local training seminar, being held by one of the vendors. And Russell is there, sitting in the class, and when Russell recognizes me and Freddie, he has the death look that we're going to tell everyone in the room about his T-stamp. Which we didn't. We thought that was, some things are better if you leave them in Canada. Some things, it's like Vegas. They always say if it happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. No, it doesn't. It goes on TikTok and Instagram. But the moral of the story, they've always been called T-stamps. Ready? Ooh, that looks good. I like it. So that's the little short story today in honor of Super Bowl Sunday. Oh yeah, that's good. Yes. All righty. And as always, thank you, Lord. Thank you for today.